Okay, so you think so? I mean, I guess has the adoption of this kind of technology, especially in finance departments around AP. I mean, obviously, this is still something that many businesses haven't even looked at yet and are starting to. When I say this technology is not exactly new, what do you think? I guess is caused the lack of adoption, or what is not necessarily driven the adoption element up until
So,
now? Is it mainly cost? Is it cost of the equipment and the technology, or
yeah, there's a few kind of driving factors. I would say when we're speaking to customers, there may be you've got kind of a few different types of customers. You've got those businesses that have kind of organically grown and don't realize they've got a problem until it's really putting them under a lot of strain. So maybe they've acquired a couple of businesses or they've grown quicker than they expected to. So suddenly a lot of paperwork has started to be cut and they're starting to really feel the strain of actually trying to pay invoices on time, for example. Others may have looked at it 5, 10 years ago, and maybe it was cost prohibitive at that time because maybe the cloud solutions that were not available that they maybe ordinarily are available now. So revisiting it now makes a massive difference. And then we've got people that just don't realize that there are solutions out there that can help them.
of course it's those late adopters, the laggards, and the tipping point, you could say, that
It's
don't realise that there's such efficiencies with using this kind of technology.
absolutely, and there's some people that are quite happy with the status quo, and that's absolutely fine. But
Yeah.
it does get to a point where, not only for their own sanity in terms of being able to process these documents in an efficient way, but also for a business's competitiveness, they really need to investigate these things so they can start turning things around quicker to improve their own operational efficiencies.
Yeah, no, it's something we've found with quite a few clients that we've dealt with, worked with initially. I think their thought process is everything's fine. You know, this how much efficiency could we really achieve through implementing something like this? And then once you go through the process, you do the consultation, and they realise actually how much time is being spent on processing. A lot of the documents, the storage of those documents, there's a lot of potential there, and it's something that comes up quite often.
It's look, and it's every company we speak to have a process, and 99 times out of 100 the process works. But is it the best way they could potentially be running that department and that process? Are they looking at those documents? Are they understanding all the risks that come with that process?
Yeah.
Are they looking at the time constraints? Are they looking even at how happy are the people doing that process?
Yeah.
Yes, it might work, but are people coming in on a Monday morning and shrugging their shoulders and not very happy going home on the Friday?
Yeah.
Got all these things to consider when we're looking at these processes.
Well, that's an interesting point, because it's something that quite often comes up when you talk about AI and automation, is the concern around people losing their jobs. That if we adopt AI, if we adopt automation, what about our employees? Are they going to have jobs anymore? And that is something that I think comes up regularly whenever this topic is discussed. And I think you've touched on something quite poignant there, which is, in reality, the workforce tends to be overburdened with manual, mundane, laborious tasks that they could otherwise automate, and use AI to kind of alleviate a little bit of their time to be spent on, as human beings, more creative tasks. And even in a finance department, there is creative tasks that need to be done. And I think it's sometimes adopting that technology to realize that you're trying to take away 20, 30%, 40% of that manual task that anything could do, a robot could do, and putting that workforce into something else more creative, into something else that adds a lot more value to the business long term.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's look, you speak to accounts payable teams, they know their job. They know their job inside out. They know their suppliers. They know the business. They even can spot an invoice and say that doesn't look right from 100 yards. Don't know how they do it. They're always amazing at their jobs. They're not paid to be sat there and keying out manually. That's not their expertise. It's kind of just, unfortunately, it's just the mundane part of a role typically, and we can alleviate that.
Yeah.
We've done a webinar together, and I remember one of the polls where we gave some options on if we could give you 10 hours a week back, which ordinarily is not far-reaching for anybody.
No, by
give
no
you 10
means.
hours a week back, what would you do? And pretty much everyone in the poll said is get on with my actual day-to-day job.
Yeah.
So it's freeing up that time.
Yeah, and I think this element does absorb a lot of, especially accounts teams, finance teams, this manual aspect, where they could really be spending that time. And as you say, the job satisfaction, sometimes going home feeling overworked, overpressured, they're maybe not vocalizing it, but they're feeling it, where software and technology like this can help alleviate, provide more job satisfaction, and remove just the boring stuff, put the human back in human beings.
Absolutely. There's plenty of other things that, especially because it's so accessible to different sizes of organizations, they'll all have their own different pressures. And some people in the accounts payable team might have more than one hat as well. So they're actually doing a couple of days a week on this, a couple of days a week on that. So suddenly to just take that strain away and know that actually it's getting processed quickly and accurately, and it's going to take risk away from how we're processing it currently as well.